Introduction. India has a rich history of developing trainer aircraft spanning over 70 years. In 1948, the country initiated the development of its first indigenous aircraft, the HT-2, a trainer designed for both military and civilian applications. However, as of 2020, India faces significant challenges in producing indigenous trainer aircraft like the HJT-36, Intermediate Jet Trainer, and HTT-40. Despite this long history of development, the country still depends on imported trainer aircraft. The Indian Air Force's IAF current fleet of core training aircraft includes the imported BAE Hawk 132 Advanced Jet Trainer, Pilatus PC-7, and Pipistrel Virus SW-80. India's indigenous trainer aircraft HT-2 was exported to the Ghana Air Force in 1959, showcasing the nation's early potential in this field. Today, however, the situation has reversed, with India importing trainer aircraft from other countries. Meanwhile, Pakistan has surpassed India in this area, exporting around 100 units of its MFI-17 Mushshak trainer aircraft. To understand how India missed opportunities in this sector, we must explore the history of its indigenous trainer aircraft development. History. India's first indigenous aircraft, the HT-2, Hindustan Trainer 2, was developed by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL, beginning in 1948. This twin-seater trainer, weighing around 700 kilograms, had a top speed of approximately 200 kilometers per hour and a maximum flight time of 3 hours. The HT-2 took its first flight in 1951, entered service in 1955, and was later exported to Ghana. It was eventually replaced by the HAL HPT-32 DPAC. During the 1970s, HAL designed the HPT-32 as a replacement for the HT-2. This twin-seater trainer, weighing 1,000 kilograms, had an endurance of 4 hours. It first flew in 1977 and entered service in 1984. HAL manufactured approximately 200 units of the HPT-32 for the Indian Armed Forces between 1984 and 1995. While these early efforts were promising, subsequent decades saw setbacks. From the late 1970s, India began importing advanced third and fourth generation fighter jets like the MiG-23, MiG-27, MiG-29, and Mirage 2000. Training pilots for these modern aircraft necessitated the development of more advanced trainer aircraft. To meet this need, HAL developed the HTT-34, powered by a 450 HP turboprop engine. This aircraft, a modified version of the HPT-32 with advanced avionics, was more capable than its predecessor. However, the IAF did not support the project, and it was cancelled after its first flight in 1984. Undeterred, HAL began working on a new project, the HTT-35, in the late 1980s. This entirely new design incorporated the same engine as the HTT-34, but offered improved performance. Unfortunately, due to continued lack of interest from the IAF, the project was abandoned before it could take flight. After a 15-year gap, HAL resumed work in 2010 on the HTT-40, a 3,000 kilograms basic trainer similar in concept to the HTT-35. Development of the HTT-40 is ongoing. In the 1960s, HAL developed the HJT-16 Kiran, a dual-seater jet trainer with a top speed of 700 kilometers per hour and an endurance of 2 hours. The HJT-16 entered service in 1968, and around 200 units were produced until 1989. However, India failed to develop a successor to this second-generation jet trainer during the 1980s. It was only in the late 1990s that HAL began working on the HJT-36 Sitara. By then, the nation's ability to develop advanced jet trainers had suffered due to inactivity for over 2 decades. Meanwhile, the Hansa 3, developed by the National Aerospace Laboratories, NAL, in the early 1990s, represented another effort in indigenous trainer development. This lightweight, composite body trainer first flew in 1993, but only 14 units were produced over nearly a decade. Conclusions. A lack of consistent support from the IAF and the Ministry of Defense has hindered HAL's efforts to develop advanced trainers over the past 2 decades. Promising projects like the HTT-34 and HTT-35 were prematurely abandoned. Similarly, the failure to plan for a replacement for the HJT-16 in the 1980s resulted in a significant capability gap. As a consequence, the IAF turned to imports, purchasing 72 Pilatus PC-7 trainers and over 100 BAE Hawk 132 jets starting in 2007, followed by 200 Virus SW-80 aircraft in 2018. Billions of dollars have been spent on foreign trainer aircraft, a stark contrast to India's leadership in this domain during the 1970s. To reclaim its position, India must adopt a strategic approach to developing indigenous trainer aircraft and support domestic aviation programs more consistently.